there everyone, welcome to the Archworks, this is G. Just wanted to show you off the Dragon Quest Builders demo. I understand a whole bunch of people have made small series out of it, some other people have probably done some showcase videos. I just wanted to, I don't know, throw my own thing out there really. Just going to show you off a couple of things that I found out, start you off with some basics, and see where we go from there. So let's get started. Alright, so first things first. One thing probably most people didn't notice, because I sure as hell didn't, is that you can customize your character from the main menu. You can choose male and female as you'd expect. You can also do hair and skin color, as well as the name. If you're a man or a woman, I think your name is always going to be Bildrick when you start off. Sorry, I'm not the best at talking at times. Anyway, so by default, I think is what I was meant to say, is you'll end up with the name Bildrick regardless of gender. I obviously changed mine to Arch because why not? So yeah, so that's building your character, and it's hidden in the game settings at the beginning for reasons I can't understand. I'm not going to start from the beginning. I'm going to load a saved game just because it makes it slightly easier to show off what I want to show off. And I happen to just have a file just knocking about because I've been screwing around with this as much as I can. So this is my town. Excuse the fact that I'm naked. There is a good reason for it. I'll get onto that in a second. In terms of towns, there's not really anything too drastically special. Like, there's my stonemason's workshop, my kitchen's over there, got my living quarters, and a storage shed. It's important that you build a storage shed away from the actual buildings that do stuff, because if you don't, villagers will just randomly just put whatever they find in the chests. So if you want to have like a nice tidy storage area, do this. This is actually really helpful. If you want a quick bird's eye view of the town, you can do that just by pushing the options button. You can also get a fairly good range of vision just for the surrounding areas. And one thing I didn't realise about the bird's eye view, you'll notice these little blue dots in the bottom right hand corner. They're slimes. Usually they're jumping up all over the place and doing whatever they want. When you're in the bird's eye view though, everything pauses. I didn't actually notice this because it's hard to see because I'm underneath the flag thing, I think, but my character actually carries on moving, and obviously the water carries on going. So environmental details keep happening, and everything else keeps happening, but it is actually paused. I bothered to check this before recording. So that's actually a pause function. I thought there wasn't one in this game previous. So let's move on. I've got a short list of things I want to show off. Well, funny enough, the options thing was actually one of them. Town area. You'll notice that inside the town is brighter than outside the town, and obviously it's signified by change in music as well. I can't hear it because I've got the TV down low, but I assume the music must have changed. So if I go back inside town, it'll give you the town music and it looks brighter. So let's just go back to that top down view again. You'll notice that the walls are where the area ends, at least in the demo anyway. I assume that's probably going to expand as your town gets larger. Obviously I've got no basis for that, but that's basically what I assume. Let's go over a quick rundown of the basic building, like things you're going to need. Let's use these poisonous peat blocks that I am going to show you how to get hold of. Don't worry about that. In case you don't know where they are, I am, like I said, going to show you. So the orange framework that you see there is where you're going to place a block. So let me just quickly do that. And I placed a block. You press triangle to smack it, and you collect it, which is handy. But what I've seen some more reputable, let's say, gaming websites do with their demo footage is they literally just like plonk that there, and then I guess just put that there like that. Yeah, that works. You know, and that's fine. That's what that works. You can do that. What I found is that pressing L1 and R1 to place things on different planes is much better. So let's say if I wanted to place this here, I could do that. Or if I wanted to place it higher up on the wall, I can do that. And also holding L1 while you smack things actually lets you hit higher planes, so otherwise I'd be doing that. There's another trick to the L1 and R1 thing. If you hold L1 or R1, you will do this sort of grid-based movement, so you'll only move in straight lines in any direction. But what most people I don't think seem to realise is that if you hold L1 and R1 at the same time, you get the same thing, but it's on your plane. So you can do that, or like you can place torches in a straight line. It's pretty handy when you're just trying to build the framework of a house. Like, you can just lay down the foundation pretty easily. So let's go ahead and put this purple block away. They needed an easier system for putting stuff away. It's a little arduous. Very quickly, just check the list. Ah, yeah. Okay, so blueprints. Let me just very quickly nab out a whole bunch of stuff that I actually put aside for this video, so grab that. Grab that. Like I said, getting stuff in and out of chests is a little arduous. Like, it takes 3 button presses to grab anything that's in a stack. It's not the most conducive to responsive gameplay, but whatever, it's probably what worked at the time. So, with the blueprints, I'm just going to go outside to show you this, because it's a little easier. I've got slightly more room to play with out here. So, the blueprint is something you'll get from Pippa, and it looks like this, and whatever direction you're facing, it will go. You plonk it down with square, so that's plonked down now, and you lose it from your inventory when you do that. When you stand over it, you get the option to press the the touchpad button, and it will tell you what you need to build it. It will give you a 3D model of what it looks like, and it actually tells you exactly what you need. Like, I like how it tells you need exactly 48 earth, and it tells you how much you haven't placed and that sort of stuff. So it's handy if you're like, if you need help with building, basically. You'll notice that the it doesn't have a ceiling or anything like that, or a roof. It's because buildings in this game don't need roofs to be buildings. Basically, it just needs essentially 4 walls and a door, and it's an empty room. And then, like, whatever you put inside it turns it into a different room. So the stonemason's workshop needs it needs a bonfire, a workbench, and a chest. Otherwise, it's not a stonemason's workshop. So yeah, when you're in this menu, you can hide the blueprint, which means it disappears, but you get an orange framework around it, like you see these little corner bits, so you can still see where it is, and that's pretty handy. You can obviously remove the blueprint by going to the remove option. It goes back in your inventory, as you can see. So now I've got it back again. I'm not going to bother building that, but I am going to show you some basic stuff that I've realised about building. So let's say put this here, and then we'll put this here. Now this doesn't count as a bed. You can't sleep in that because it's outside and it has to be in a building. But what I've found out is this is the smallest building you can basically get away with building. I don't know why I decided I wanted to build the smallest building, but this is handy if you're just out and about in the wild and you need somewhere to sleep to turn the night back to day. Because there are surprisingly annoying enemies that come out at night. So that now is considered a room. Even though it's only like a 4x4, it's considered a room, and you'd think this door wouldn't open, but it does. Doors don't actually care about other items, and now that you can sleep in this bed. So that's handy. This is, like I said, this is literally just the smallest building you can make. So take that into consideration if you ever go out in the wilds and you need somewhere to sleep. Even though it's not really that big of a concern, but I thought it was handy. So let's very quickly just. I'm forgetting L1. There we go. It's easy to forget L1 because I must have hit this slime by accident. Sorry, sir. Oh yeah, that's a handy thing. Slimes drop blue glue. They also sometimes drop these milk blossom buds. You'll see it in my hotbar, the white flower bud, and they're handy for one particular reason, because you can plant them. Just quickly do that, and then you can hit them to get the petals. And that's a That's how this game handles renewable sources on some items. Because I've noticed that the flowers don't ever tend to come back. The twigs and the berries and stuff like that, they do. And these I'm trying to find one now. There's like it's like a patch of this grass. Ah, there we go. Yeah, a patch of this grass that you can knock down, and it gets you one of these. I can't pick it up because my inventory is full. But yeah, so they'll spread as far as I've seen, but these flowers won't. I planted this one a while ago, and it's not really done anything since. And another kind of interesting, not so much handy thing about the flowers, let me just very quickly get down here, is you can for some reason plant them underwater. No particular reason why you'd want to do that or how that's handy, but you can. That's just a thing I sort of found out by accident. The pink flowers, by the way, don't do anything, which is why I've got just a whole field of them right now. Like in the demo, at least, they don't do anything. I imagine they're probably going to be used for either more powerful healing potions or a different kind of healing potion. Now I'm thinking about water. Since I just showed you the flower thing, I'm going to just very quickly go down here to this thing that I've dug, which leads into this nearby river. I didn't mean for it to do that, but it just wound up that way. And it's 2 deep. By that I mean it's actually 2 blocks, not 2 deep. But this seems to be the allowable amount of water that your character will survive in. He doesn't even drown, which is bizarre. You'd think there'd be a system for that. But if you're in too high water, you don't drown, and he can stay in here forever and it won't affect him. I've actually tried it. But if you go into deep water like this, Obviously you fall in, you die, but anyone can figure that out, so it's not a big deal. Ooh, didn't mean to hit that. I'm forgetting what buttons do what. Sorry if you can hear the controller, by the way. I'm very loud when I click buttons. Right, let's have a quick gander at the list. I mean, I'm very close to being starved to death, so I'm not going to wait for that. Let's find something else to show you while I can do that. Oh, yeah. There's 2 other things. You can tell I'm very prepared for this. Okay, so buildings can also be built adjacent to one another. That doesn't sound like it's overly startling or impressive, but I didn't realise that when I started. Basically, I thought you had to build all 4 walls on a building for it to count, because for some reason that's how it worked when I first played this. But then I found out recently that no, you can build things adjacent. So don't worry about doing this. You can have attached houses. It's all good. And now I'm actually starting to starve to death. I'm just going to wait for a message. There we go. There's the message. So Arch is now absolutely starving. He'll do this, like this bent over animation. And if you watch my health, then it might even tick over on top of me, I don't know. Just give it a second. Come on. You can do it. Oh, weird that you did it. Oh, there we go. See, now you get 2 damage every so often from being hungry. So that's a thing I didn't know about. Because, honestly, I'm never usually hungry in this game. Because your villagers are really good at stocking up this chest full of food. Very quickly just munch down on this. I'm hoping there's going to be better food in this game. Like, gotta assume there has to be, right? Alright, while I'm sleeping, just very quickly. Right, so these stairs. If you're playing the demo for yourself, you've probably seen these stairs, and maybe, you know, you did what I did and you just sort of gave them a quick tap. Let me just quickly show you what happens if you didn't do that, though. In fact, I'm going to have to discard something real quick just so I can do this. I like how when you discard things, by the way, where it just goes miles away so you don't accidentally pick it up again. Like, Minecraft can definitely learn from that. So yeah, if you hit these stairs, you can break them and you can place them. So that's handy. That's how I've managed to configure mine like this, because they were next to each other when I got here, but I decided it was better off looking like that. Another thing I've got mocked up is 3 high walls. Obviously, you can't jump up 3 high walls, you can't even make it over 2. As evidence here. But, obviously, if I put a dirt block there, still can't jump over it because it's too high. Oh, come on, get closer. Right, but signs, you can jump on top of a sign even though it's actually a little bit taller than 1 block. Let me just put that block back there. Shouldn't really have moved it, but yeah, you can see how much taller it is than 1 block. So you can walk up that, or you can just jump on it, and then, whoop-ah, there you go. You can jump up 3 high walls by using signs. So that's, I'm not going to say it's advanced, but it's a handy little tip to know if you want like a way to get on top of a building or something like that without going to much effort for it. Now I'm going to very quickly show you grass seeds. I wish there was actually a better way for me to do this than to wander from place to place, but you'll just bear with me, it's not that far away. So grass seeds will do a 5x5 area around you, which is handy because I happen to have something larger than that. So you press square when it's in your hotbar. Boom, 5x5. So that's handy to know. It won't grow on top of this type of block though, like this kind of grass here with the green moss all over it. It'll only grow on plain dirt, like the stuff with the stones in it. So if you want to place it on this, you have to basically knock it out and then replace it, because that resets it to being regular old dirt. I'm not sure why they bothered with the mossy dirt. It just overcomplicates things a little bit. I mean, unless there's like a way to move it around, like say like Silk Touch in Minecraft or anything like that, and you want it for decoration. Let's have a quick look. Oh, I've actually gone through most of my list without realizing it. I'm really sorry about this. Oh, okay. So I don't really want to go out and slap a bunch of bats and slimes to show you what they each drop, but I can. Obviously I've explained how the slimes drop the white milk blossoms and they drop blue goo, because you watched me do it. The bats, which you find over in that area, over there, and over there. Basically anywhere there's woodland I think you find bats. Let me just realised I can very quickly just drop off everything, because I'm not going to need any of this now. It's amazing how much of this I put away to show off, and I don't actually need any of it. I mean, I'll come back and I'll explain how buildings actually work and stuff like that in a second, but like, oh, here's a handy thing as well. If you're carrying a torch, you can see, like, I have light around me, and if you take it off, I don't. But you don't have to be carrying the torch for the light to show up. So, very handy. Especially when it gets dark. But yeah, so these bats, they will occasionally drop grass seeds. Hey, got lucky. They'll occasionally drop grass seeds, and then they'll sometimes also drop the pink blossom. But oh, bloody hell, I got really lucky. That never happens. That is recording luck right there. So yeah, they'll drop grass seeds, and they'll drop these coral lily buds. Like I said, the coral lily buds only plant flowers now, and the petals don't do anything. And the grass seeds obviously do the 5x5 grass. Covered slimes, there are chimeras, which I can go up on top of the mountains to show you those. Which, actually, no, wait, before I do that, it's a very important thing I need to take with me. This is my second time recording, because my capture device didn't hold up last time. So I'm actually going to make a smart decision and bring a bunch of these with me. These are Chimera Wings. If you're familiar with Dragon Quest, then you're probably going to be aware of what these do. If you're not like me, then well, I say not like me, I mean I don't know anything about Dragon Quest. This is my first little attempt at Dragon Quest games. The Chimera Wings teleport you back to your home base, so they're really handy to have if you're like doing something like this and you need to get somewhere quick, or you need to get back somewhere quick rather. So on top of these mountain tops, let's see, there they are. Alright, so there's a bunch of chimeras, and they're really weird looking. They look like caterpillar eagles. Oh, I can't, there we go. And they only drop feathers. They don't drop anything else, which is weird because everything else drops two things. Like as far as I've seen anyway. And just a quick gander over here. This is an extra area you'll have to come to. Like you see that mud hut down there, and then there was a campsite over there, but I think I destroyed it. And then, oh yeah, the chimeras shoot fire. It's the most irritating thing about them. You might see over there's like a light off in the distance next to like a noob style mud hut. The sort of thing you'd hide in at night if you're like fresh to Minecraft. Yeah, that's where you find one of the villagers who I think might be story critical, I'm not too sure. But yeah, if you come over these mountain tops as well, this is actually quite a handy segue really. If you come over these mountain tops, you can get to the poison swamp area, which I don't know if many people actually discovered, because I found it pretty much by accident. Like I was just wandering around to see how far the game would let me go, or the demo rather would let me go. And some handy full damage there to show off that it's there. And yeah, so this is the poison swamp. You get poisonous tree ants, or ents, or whatever they're called in Dragon Age, I don't honestly know. They're probably just called poison trees. And they drop the little trees, which I think are called, let me just have a look, tainted tree, yeah. let me have a think and also read what they're called. And then you see the bigger, more bent looking tree stump things, they're called the twisted tree trunks. And they both drop from the trees, like the tree enemies. But it's a bit of a small drop rate, and it's not really worth it, because at the moment you can't break them, and I'll show you that when we get back to base. This swamp looks deep enough to drown in, but it actually just hurts you. And what I found out is, obviously you move slower in the swamp, so you might think, oh, we'll just, jump over it, you might negate the damage. Nope, you take damage from first contact with it. So you actually take more damage jumping through it than you would just trudging through it. So trudging through it seems to be the way to get through. Let me just very quickly see if I can get this guy to do any of his moves, because these tree ant guys actually have some pretty hardcore moves. Let's actually put my healing cream on. Okay, so he's right. So I'm inside that circle. I suddenly just got hungrier, so they can actually affect your hunger bar. Oh, and a ghost just showed up. The ghosts show up at night. Oh, I got one. Nice. So yeah, the ghosts show up at night. And I'm not sure if they only show up after the quest in the demo where the skeletons attack your village, but at night they will constantly harass you. Like, they just come out of nowhere, they start hitting you. It's very annoying. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to Chimera Wing instead of going straight to where I'm going to go. because that way I can get to town, rest, and then show you all in daylight, because there is another area that you can get to via the swamp, but I want to show you the alternate route to get there without being harassed by ghosts. But back to the ghosts, they drop monster eggs which you can use to make fried eggs. But I've not gone hunting for 16 of them. The most I've found on my own is 3, which are these 3 here. The fried eggs actually come mostly from my villagers, because they once you've built a utility room such as the mason's workshop or the kitchen, they will just start making stuff or collecting stuff. It's really handy, and I'm assuming the more villagers you have, the higher quality goods and the more often you'll get from them. In fact, while I'm still in the town, let's just very quickly talk about how buildings are assigned. So obviously this isn't the right shape to be a mason's workshop if you're following Pippa's blueprint. It turns out it doesn't really matter what size or shape the building is as long as you've got these 3 things in it. So you want a bonfire, a workbench and a chest, and that turns it into a mason's workshop. Nothing else matters to it. So it can be any size you want. It can literally just be enough room to fit those 3 items in and it will still work. Same with the kitchen, as long as it's got that cooking fire in it, it works. Bedrooms aren't technically bedrooms until they've got 2 mattresses in them, which is a bit bizarre, because obviously you saw me build a room earlier with only the 1 mattress in it, and that was considered an empty room. Same for this storage shed. This is technically considered an empty room. In order for a room to be considered a room, it needs a light source, so you either need a torch or a bonfire in it. And the pots and the chests and the crates don't do anything towards the function of a room. It's mostly just for decoration and overall score, because you need a village score to up your base level, which is in the top left. Mine's on 3 because I've got a little bit of an expansion going on, which has boosted me to level 3. Typically you'll end up finishing the demo at level 2. So if you come this way, there's a big spire. On top of that spire there's a chest with a life seed in it. Most people have probably found that one. There is another chest with a life seed that I might actually try and go back and find. Anyway, this is the alternate route to that other area I was talking about. So, if I actually had a block, I could show you something. Let me just very quickly get a block. Doesn't really matter what kind of block it is. So, you can build on the side of this mountain, but you can't build off it. You are repelled by a strange force. So that is obviously there to prevent you from bridging over. I mean, we can get over there anyway, but that island over there you can't get to in this demo. And there's another island to the north, like the complete north, that we can't get to. And I think there's actually, yeah, there's like more to that island there. And obviously you can see the lights in the distance, and they're really trying to make you feel like, oh man, I need to get this game so I can finally figure out what's on those lights, or what those lights are attached to rather. But yeah, jumping around this mountain is no problem, and this gets you to this area, which looks normal enough. You know, it looks like all the other parts of the game. It leads, if you go this way, it leads to the poison swamp. But if you go over here, this is where the interesting part lies, which is the sleeping dragon. And previously I thought you couldn't do any damage to him, because last time I tried, I just did 0. Like, it gave me a solid 0 as an attack rating. But during my last recording, which obviously didn't take, he actually took some damage. See, he did 0 there, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then he did 28 to me. So I don't know if it's determined by where you hit him or what, but yeah, I think you have to hit him in the legs because they look less armoured. I think that might actually have something to do with it. But yeah, so that's a dragon. He, for some reason, doesn't move. He's completely stationary. And I think after a while he forgets about you, but I don't think he's going to do it just yet. But yeah, obviously with 1 damage, I don't think I'm gonna be taking him down anytime soon. I might try in the future. If I do, I might record it. Who knows? But yeah, like I said, this area leads into the poison swamp, and there was a bonfire over here. Like, it sort of implies that people have somehow been building like small temporary settlements, even though no one remembers how to build. Shush, it's fine. Like I said, there's that island over there with what looks like a structure. It might just be a cave with a bonfire on top of it. In fact, it very clearly is a cave. And there's vines and there's minerals and all sorts of stuff that you can't get in the main island, which is Cantlin, which is where we are now. So like, you can see it there. There's like what looks like minerals, and there's vines and all sorts of stuff that you might want to get over there. But chances are, even if you can get to it, you probably can't harvest it. So let's just use the Chimera Wing to get back to where we were. I really do like the Chimera Wing animation where you just launch yourself into the sky. It's very, very Pokemon-ish. Okay, so let's try and find that other cave I was telling you about. Well, by other cave I mean the only cave. Yeah, you might actually be able to see it right over there, just above my character's head. If you go in there, you'll find another chest, but that's guarded by 2 bats. They're easy to take down, so there's no worries about it. And that'll give you another life seed. And I can't remember if I actually explained what the life seeds do. Life seeds are basically things that you'll also get during quests with villagers, and when you eat them it gives you 5 extra health. I think you start the game with 45 health, so altogether I think you get like 3 throughout the... no. Maybe you get more, I can't remember. I think you get more than 3, but I can't remember exactly how many you get, but it's enough to boost you from maybe 40, 45 to 60, so... And as far as I'm aware, that's everything, apart from obviously you can't pick these back up, so if you do end up going and getting them in the demo, don't place them down unless you're fully aware of where they're going to be, because I'm now stuck with this decision until the demo, or until the actual game launches. This blue portal is a thing you build like late into the demo, like really late into the demo. If I use it, we get the Wayne's World warp, and it tells you that's the end of the demo. But thankfully, it doesn't just kick you straight out, which is really good. Like most other games will just kick you straight out, but I'm assuming they must intend for you to carry on the game once you actually buy it. Sorry if I keep doing it while I'm explaining it. Sorry that I keep saying I'm not the most confident person in the world. Anyway, so like I said, I was expanding underground, future expansion. This is just a little aside. This has nothing to do with the actual game, but this is something that you can do because it actually really works. I have to block it off because otherwise people start living down here and I never see them again. But thankfully, I'm not going to save. So, and this is all going to be like low tier housing. I just want to, when the actual game hits, I just want to have a slum underneath my city that people live in. Not because like there's going to be any villages I don't like. I mean, guaranteed there's going to be some I don't like, but you know, I like the idea of having this sort of low tier slum. Also, these things, now that I'm actually seeing it, this is a stump. You'll see this at the beginning of the demo in the area that you start, where you can build the basic stuff. Even when it's inside the town, you can only build basic stuff on it. If you want to build anything like that actually goes towards the town, you have to do it through the stonemason's workbench. So let me just block this back off again, even though like I said I'm not going to save. Why am I bothering? So yeah, if you want to build anything you have to go in here, and this gives you like everything you want to build. Oh, and that reminds me of the ragged rags. Okay, so ragged rags, let me just go back in there again, sorry. They take 1 coarse cloth to make. Coarse cloth does not drop off anything I've seen in this game. Like, I feel like I've explored enough and seen enough to know that coarse cloth is not going to drop from anything. And I think throughout the demo you only get 2, maybe 3 extra pieces of it. And you've probably noticed by now in the bottom left corner that my oaken club is actually wearing down because items have durability, including your clothes. So in a bid to sort of keep my armor ready for the actual game, as opposed to just using it up and running out of cloth and then not having any armor when the actual game hits, I'm choosing to just do it all naked, because there's really nothing in this game that will hurt you like too much, except for obviously the dragon. But how often am I really going to go for the dragon, you know? So that is finally the explanation for why my character is naked. That took far too long to get to. In fact, it's the end of the video as far as I can tell from my list. Voice break! Alright, and that's everything. Had to cut a little bit there because I kind of got a little too rambly, but it's the end of the video now. If you guys were interested in this, let me know. Like, sling me a comment or whatever. I'm thinking about maybe trying to make a series out of this because it's kind of Minecrafty, but not Minecrafty enough that it looks like I'm gonna get like told by the community to just play nothing but this, which is as my understanding goes, kind of the curse of Minecraft Let's Players. And I don't really want to play Minecraft anyway. I enjoy it, but it's just there's no motivation to it, no purpose. But this game has that, and it's interesting to me. So, and this clearly has an end in sight. You know, you rebuild the world. There has to be an end in sight. so we can play it up to that point, and that'll be that, you know. And then I can have projects on the side as far as the town goes. It could be an interesting series, I don't really know. But if you guys are interested to see it, let me know. I might try it anyway, just to see how far I get. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed this, hope it was interesting. If there's any other like weird little tricks that you guys have found out, let me know. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you when the game comes out on the 14th. Who knows? Bye bye.